Standard 7.EE.4b is about setting up and solving inequalities. Problem number 7. Jessie has 15 3/4 cups of flour. A batch of bread requires 5.5 cups of flour. How many batches B can be made if Jessie needs to save 2 cups of flour for a cake? Write and solve an inequality for this situation. Okay, so first of all, we know that she has 15 3/4 cups of flour. We know that each batch of bread requires 5.5 cups of flour, and she needs to save 2 cups. So we're going to add 2 cups to whatever that total is. We're looking at B number of batches, so we're going to take 5.5 and multiply by B, because if there's 5.5 cups of flour for one batch, then 5.5 times 2 would be the amount of flour for 2 batches, or 5.5 times 3 would be the amount of flour for 3 batches, and so on. So B can represent the number of batches. So we're going to set up an inequality. So she only has 15 3/4 cups of flour. She does not have any more than that. So the 5.5 cups of flour times B number of batches plus 2 has got to be less than 15 3/4. So we can say 15 3/4 is greater than or equal to 5.5 times the B number of batches plus 2. So now it's time to solve. I would probably start with simplifying, because I can change these mixed numbers to decimals because they're terminating decimals. So I'm going to go ahead and change them so it's just easier for me to calculate. So 15.75 plus 5.5b plus 2. Okay, so now I have got this term 5.5b that I want to get by itself. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides of the inequality. We get 13.75 is greater than or equal to 5.5b. Now we want to get b by itself. So we're going to divide both sides by 5.5. So we get b on the right side. Then we can go to a calculator and divide 13.75 by 5.5, and we get 2.5. Now I do want to remind you with inequalities that at this last step, when we multiply or divide, when we're at this step, we multiply or divide both sides by a number to get our variable by itself. If we multiply or divide both sides by a positive, then we can just keep our inequality symbol the same, and that's what we did here. But remember, if it's a negative, flip the symbol. And so we have solved this inequality, and let's go ahead and interpret it here. In this situation, she could have B number of batches. That's got to be less than or equal to 2.5. So she can make 2 batches, because you can't make a half batch, or at least it doesn't ask it in that way. Technically you could when you're dealing with recipes. You could cut down to half of the original amount. However, the total number of batches that she could complete is 2 batches of bread. Number 8, solve the inequality and graph its solution on the number line. So I'm just going to rewrite the inequality over here. M plus 8 is less than or equal to 3. Well, I want to get M by itself, so I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides of this inequality. We get M on the left side, negative 5 on the right side, and we didn't have to multiply or divide anything on this problem, so we just left our inequality symbol alone. Remember, if you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, your inequality symbol will flip. So we've got M is less than or equal to negative 5. So I'm going to graph. I'm going to go to -5 on my number line and draw a circle. And then we have a little rhyme to remember. If it has a line, take your time and shade it in. That or equal to that line at the bottom of the inequality symbol is a line. So we're going to take our time and shade this bubble in. And then notice, since we've got it set up where the variable's on the left, that our arrow is going to match up, and we can draw our arrow to the left, and we've graphed the inequality. Number 10. Marina has $145 to spend. She spends $68.50 on jeans, and then t-shirts cost $12.75. Write and solve an inequality to find the greatest number of t-shirts she can buy. So I would just approach this in a way that I would just think through the problem. If I were really spending this money, how would I approach this? Well, she's buying jeans and t-shirts. It says she has spent $68.50 on jeans. Plus, she would like to buy some t-shirts. So let's let T equal the number of t-shirts. We know the price already. So we're going to represent $12.75 times T, number of t-shirts. And that'd be the cost of all the t-shirts. And when we add the cost of the jeans to the cost of the t-shirts, we know she has $145 to spend. So she could spend less than $145, or she could spend exactly $145. So that would be less than or equal to $145. Now we're just going to go through and solve this inequality. I'm going to start by getting the t-shirts by themselves. So I'm going to subtract the cost of the jeans, $68.50, from both sides of this inequality. And what that does is that gives us the remaining cost, which would be the cost of all the t-shirts. So the remaining cost, the cost of all the t-shirts, is $76.50. Okay, so we know the cost that remains for all the t-shirts. Now, let's take the cost of each t-shirt and divide that on both sides so that we can get T, the number of t-shirts, by itself. Okay, it comes out to exactly 6. And since when we divided by on both sides, we divided by a positive, the inequality symbol stays the same. And so she could buy less than or equal to 6 t-shirts. So the greatest number she can buy is 6 t-shirts.